Welcome to The Book Carriers, your favorite book club podcast.
I'm Cassandra, the hopeless romantic book carrier.
I'm Angela, the logical book carrier.
And I'm Becca, the sentimental book carrier.
We are three 30-something best friends and busy moms who live vicariously through the stories we read.
So grab your cup of coffee, get comfy, and let's get lost in a great book together.
Welcome to our first episode of The Book Carriers. We are so grateful and thankful that you are listening and joining us today because we are so excited. We're diving deep into The FourthWing today by Rebecca Yarros. And of course, this is one of the most talked about, read, everything book of the year, last 2 years probably.
Super viral, super popular. It's everywhere. Everybody's talking about it.
Yes. So we couldn't miss the opportunity to come together as book lovers ourselves. And we thought, why not, put this on a podcast and get this kick off something that we have dreamed about for a long time. So we are so excited for you guys to be here and to talk about The FourthWing with us. So just a little bit of fun facts about Miss Rebecca Yarros. She actually grew up, I don't know if y'all know this, but she grew up in a military family. Both of her parents were in the Army. So she was, as she calls herself, an Army brat. And so I think that gives such a real experience to what she put in Violet's character, her experience. She has to know firsthand so much about what happens in military training. And so I think she really dug deep into that. Another really cool thing, of course, is that her husband served in the military for 22 years. So she has recounts of that, being in a relationship with somebody in the military. That has to add so many other elements to that. Probably the coolest thing that I read about Rebecca that I didn't know before was that she has, as do, I don't know if it's some of her children or all of her children, but they have EDS, which is a disability. It's Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and it affects the joints. And I think that she channeled her probably struggles that she's had with that, watching her children struggle with that, and channeled that into her character to bring awareness. And I think that that's so cool. So
yeah. So this is really like the story of her life, but in fantasy world.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's like her husband, her parents. That goes a lot to thinking about Violet's relationship with her parents in the book, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But that puts a lot of thoughts into my head.
Yeah, I think it adds a whole other layer to it. And I think that it just gives, like, as a writer myself somewhat, but like you write what you know, and that's what's going to come through as being authentic. And I think that that's what makes it to where it doesn't feel like an author just trying to write about a military experience. This is somebody who's lived it. And so I think that that's why it seems so authentic and it comes through. And one of the things that sparked that thought to me was the dedication in the book. The dedication, she says, to Aaron, who is her husband, my own Captain America, through the deployments, the moves, the sunniest highs and the darkest lows, it's always been you and me, kiddo. And I think that that is just like, was the second I saw that, I was like, oh, so she has some real experience with this military setting. So I just thought that that was amazing to learn and gave a whole other respect to her and her experiences.
Definitely. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. It's so fun that it relates to her life, but her imagination to create this world and to just create everything is insane. So
I'm interested because I haven't read the entire book, just FYI to some of those people that may be like me. I am just interested to see, like, maybe who in the book maybe like her husband, who is he most like in the book? I don't know.
Yeah. Who does she emulate or, tie to her husband in a way?
Is he Zayden material? Is he? Well, we'll get into that.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, and just for those who, maybe didn't catch the title of the podcast episode, we are just covering through chapter
1 through 20.
1 through 20. So we're only covering the first half of this in this episode. And in 2 weeks, we'll drop the next episode and we'll finish out the book. So for Angela and myself, this is a reread of this book. And for Cassandra, it is her first time reading through it. So I'll try to keep any spoilers.
You're gonna have to try really,
It's
really
gonna be hard.
hard.
No, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, we have to be very careful with spoilers.
But the reread was interesting, and I really enjoyed rereading it because I think that the second half is so explosive that I forgot how much good stuff happens in the first half. So I'm glad that we decided to break it up like this.
Yes, and to go through all the character building again, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about this, all the cute little stuff. It's perfect. So definitely recommend a reread if you haven't.
Yes, reread it. If you're listening to this episode thinking, oh, I've already read it, I'll just listen to the episode, reread it and then listen because it is so worth it. I think that this book is viral for a reason. So
and of course, if you haven't read it at all, read it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We're getting ahead of ourselves and giving our final thoughts.
Okay.
Well, let's get started.
Ready.
Okay.
All right, everybody. So let's talk about the cover and the title. So what was y'all's first impression of the cover and the title? Ooh, thank you, Becca, for having it. I literally pulled it up on another tab on my computer. And let me look at this.
This is the one with the black edges too.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Love the black edges. My first impression was Game of Thrones. Immediately, I was like, give me all the dragons, all the Khaleesi vibes. So that was my first impression. There's not, to me, even a little bit of romance on the cover. So I was like, this might be a little bit too fantasy-y. And if it hadn't have been for TikTok convincing me otherwise, I probably wouldn't have picked it up based on the cover. Just my opinion.
Yes. For me, I am definitely like a bigger picture person. So when I look at it, I'm like a little overwhelmed with like all the little tiny details. I'm like, I don't know what all those lines and dots mean. And so my brain literally just like doesn't look at the details. The only thing that I really honed in on was the little words above the title. It says fly, ... or die. So I was like, okay, let's get to the point. Fly or die.
Jesus.
And I will also say like a little critique. I would think like a little bit more like, I don't know, a little bit more intricate or something like fly or face peril. I don't know. Something a little more sophisticated too.
Than fly or die.
Yeah, it seems so. I don't know, like kiddish maybe. I don't know.
I could see that. So I respect your opinion. I'm gonna have to disagree with you. My cover is different though, y'all. I don't know because I have it on my phone. Can you see it?
Yeah,
that's I think the original one.
Okay, that's what I'm looking at.
So that's what I have, and I was like, okay, dragons, and it was kind of like I was also kind of hesitant about the fantasy, and I've read books before where it's like just like front loads with a lot of information about the world and stuff, and I was worried, but the tiny text, fly or die, and I was like, okay, I guess we got to see who flies and who dies. Let's go. So I was automatically intrigued. I was like, this is exciting. I don't know what this is, but let's go. So
what's the TikTok? I think the TikTok that went viral that like kind of got me intrigued was they had the text, which is on chapter 1. It says, a dragon without its rider is a tragedy. A rider without their dragon is dead. But the TikTok, it's like very theatrical and the way that they say it. And it just gave me goosebumps. And I was like, oh. And I'm like that. I feel like Angela like is like that more sophisticated version of fly or die. You know, it's like if they had put that on the front of the book, I would have picked it up probably much better than the fly or die is a little like
it's just like little kiddish. Like I can't even think of
I double dog dare you to fly or die.
Exactly.
I understand what you mean. I get you.
Yeah, so that's just my 2 little cents. But on the other hand, it's very simple and very to the point and like very serious of like fly or die. So there you go.
Which I feel like, in the book, it is that way. It's like death is nothing to these people, like at a certain point. So it's just like, I mean, fly or die. I mean, at that point, that is kind of their mantra. So,
True. So
you know,
it's there
fits.
for a reason. Yes.
Yeah.
So then getting into like the world building, what did y'all think? What did y'all
I
think
have
of the
thoughts.
world building? Go for it.
Rebecca Yarros's, I think, genius way of world building through Violet walking across and reciting things to help calm her anxiety was genius. If every fantasy book came up with some witty, out of the box thinking way of world building and giving you some backstory, it would be so much better. You didn't just have to sit there and read paragraphs of boring stuff just to get the reader off the ground to understand what's going on. Like, no, we got thrown into it. And I just thought it spoke to Violet's character. It built her character as well as building the world. And I just thought that was genius.
Yes, it was beautiful. Yeah, I completely agree with you, Becca. I had the exact same thoughts.
Yeah, I agree. So immediately when she started to recite all this stuff, I was like, oh, okay, here's our world building.
Yes.
And I was like, this is cool. This is cool. And what I also like is you could sit there and you could read. I actually did before today. I reread the things that she was saying. And I feel like even without, being as intricate as I was rereading all of her scribe knowledge, just throughout the dialogue and just it just like puts you into it. It puts you like immediately she's meeting with her mom. And her mom is kind of like telling her, this is what it's going to be. And it's just you're just thrown into it.
Yeah, and I like what she was reciting, like to calm her anxiety. It's some of the most mundane things, like geography and like the things that are like important details, but there's some of the most boring ones. But it's interesting because it's like, oh, she's using it to calm her anxiety, and it's also important facts about like the world building. So I thought that was super smart.
The first read, honestly, I was like, what is that? It's like what's the name of the thing they walk across?
The parapet.
I was like, what is that? Like, I was honestly just like kind of trying to visualize so much in my head. And I think I was ignoring the genius, like now that I see, of using and utilizing. And it builds her character and who she is as a scribe and somebody who appreciates like the literary word and the history and this, which is something she continues throughout the whole book, and it was especially this first part or first half. And so it's like, I mean, now I got to see who she was as well as the world.
Right. Like it's the very first challenge she faces that she has to kind of figure out, what can I use to my advantage to help me in this physical exercise, or I don't know what you would call it, challenge, basically, because it's fly or die.
Yep.
So,
fly or die.
I thought that was,
I would die so fast. I would be like I would literally like this is where I don't relate to these like strong female characters, because I would have like my book would be 1 page long. It would be like, and she took a step and then she fell. Like, there is no, I mean, there's no way. I can't relate.
It's like, would you or wouldn't you? Are you the type of person that would or wouldn't make it across the parapet? Trial 1.
Ooh.
Remember, okay, so where are we going next with this? Because do we want to talk about that guy that just like straight up died? Do y'all remember that?
Dylan. Dylan, was that his name? Dylan?
Yes. That was the first like time I read this book,
Did
I was
y'all
like,
know that was gonna happen?
She just killed him off like already. And
could you tell he was gonna die? Could you tell he was gonna die? Because
no.
I could.
Oh, you could?
I kind of could. I was like, man, they're building it up to where he's got a sweetheart at home and he's got to get back to his love. They're gonna wait 3 years. he was like, we're gonna do it. I promise. I have made a promise to her, and she's gonna be true. And boom,
she killed him. It was. I will say the like.
Are you a Dylan or a Violet?
I'm a Dylan. I'm a Dylan through and through.
But he was confident though. Like he was like, I gotta do it. I gotta get back to my sweet, sweet girl.
Yeah, I would not be confident. I would somebody it would have had to have been a Violet situation. Like I would have had to be forced to do that, and I would have fallen.
Which is
still.
So, like,
Angela.
Okay, you have to have faith in yourself.
I have zero faith in my athletic abilities to be able to cross an 18-inch wide beam that is the only thing between me and my death. I have zero confidence in that.
Especially because it was raining and like drizzling and like windy. Like poor
Can
girl.
we talk about the fact that her mom's power is storms?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. That's a detail I didn't notice.
They just mentioned it in one little thing.
Just briefly, yeah.
She controls the weather, or can.
Yeah, she controls storms. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she just like made it worse for them, basically. Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Oh.
Why did she make it worse for Violet?
Wait, you think she was responsible?
Yes.
Really? What makes you think that?
Because I think if she can control it in that way, can't she make it go away? Can she clear it? Then why wouldn't she see a storm coming in and say, "Oh, I'm going to clear it, so my little daughter, who is frail, it's like weak joy,
maybe
this make it across the thing."
Maybe this was all a part of the mom's plan. She hates Violet and she just wants to get rid of Violet.
Yeah, and I don't know when we're going to talk about her, but I want to talk about her. We can talk about her later if y'all want, but.
Well, and she's not like a huge character here, though.
She's not
in the first half.
So then let's. Well, I still want to talk about her, but I think there's another question that I could talk about her. So let's move on.
Okay. So
she'll get hers.
Yeah. So Angela, do you think you would survive?
Oh, I would 100% survive the parapet. I would 100%.
You would?
Yes. Oh, I totally would. Yes. Like no doubt in my mind, no question in my mind. Like I would do it.
I think you would. I don't think I would. I think I would be like Dylan, honestly.
Cassandra would have hopes that she would cross.
Yes,
but she
exactly. But instantly, like it was so instantly. He was turning, smiling, thinking about her, and then all of a sudden he just okay, here I go. I'm shocked. But I'm so shocked. But I feel like I knew it was coming, and that would be me. I'm Dylan. So
that tracks. I feel like all of our, if anybody was gonna make it as a writer, it would be Angela.
Yeah.
Sure. I feel like you would go into it so optimistic. Like you would say, like, okay, I have no choice. Yeah, I'm gonna do my best and whatever. Whereas I would just be like, walk and just like jump off, because I'd be like, I would rather control my own like death than like give myself false hope that I'm gonna cross this thing.
I wonder if anybody has ever. I wonder if a character ever was like, you know what, I don't want to deal with this.
But I think they have to choose to go into the writer's quadrant, don't they?
Do they?
I think they choose, right?
They do say that it's like the only quadrant that's completely voluntary.
Yeah.
So that really probably wouldn't happen
unless
someone got scared.
Unless
someone like Violet.
Like
it is voluntary, but some parents might still force their children to go through it.
Plus, like kids, especially like Dylan, supposedly had been training for this their entire life. Training for his entire life.
He had his sweetheart. His sweetheart.
Ring around his neck. Oh, it's just
that's what I'm saying. Like he was. Oh gosh, poor Dylan.
I just imagine a little country boy from Alabama. I don't know why. He had a sweetheart from Alabama, and he was exploring the world. He had huge dreams, and it was so sudden.
It was sudden. I envision him like a main character, because I was thinking, okay, they're setting us up for who she's going to be close to.
Oh my God.
But I mean, that's good writing. It should be shocking when something like that happens. And to me, it was. And I think that I followed like Violet's trajectory of like how phased she was by people dying. And like she almost like threw up in that moment. And like I would have too. And I was so shocked by that happening, to like later on as the book goes, like it's still sad and she's still human, but she's just like the reader becomes less fazed by it, just as Violet does. And I think that that's like the point of how she wrote it that way. And so, because to me I pictured him like a main character, because I thought, okay, this is about to be somebody, you know, that she's going to be close to, like, or she's going to like, you know, twist it. He's going to end up being an enemy, you know, or something. Like, I thought he was going to be important. And then a page later, he was gone.
Yeah,
literally.
I feel like I wrote a note and I said, "Oh, so it's that kind of book." Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
He got got.
He got got.
He got caught.
Well, okay, so then talking about like who would make it across the parapet, and I said that yes, I would 100% make it through. So I really like relate to Violet like in some ways. Okay, everybody, I feel like she has nobody in her corner. Literally everybody doubts her. Everybody says that she can't do it, except maybe her mom. So maybe her mom actually believed that she could do it, versus that's why she forced her to do it. I don't know. But yeah, so it's like being faced with like these trials and these challenges, and like everybody around you seeing you as someone who's too young, too short, too petite, and so it's like, yes, facing all of the odds and going against everybody's what they think is going to happen and proving them wrong. So I definitely relate.
Do you think that that's who you like relate to the most?
Yes, especially what is being viewed as like the underdog, but then like proving people wrong. Like so many times like being told, I guess it's talking about like careers, like so many times being told like, oh, I thought this was I didn't expect this from you, and this is what I got, and I was surprised. And so I just remember like some of those things, because even starting my career, I think I was like 2021. So granted, I was young, and granted, I am short, and granted, I am petite. but
that big but, yes.
Yeah. So I enjoyed reading like all of those impressions that she proved wrong.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody that was in her corner at the beginning that really thought that she could do it. But the only person I was like, I guess like her dad, maybe if her dad was still alive, like maybe he would be like, this is a tough situation, Vi, but you gotta go. Mom said, you know.
I feel like that's why they introduced like Ryan on so early on, because she had to have somebody like somewhat in her corner, you know, like, and I feel like, but that was somebody new. Like, she didn't know her. She didn't like, if anything, she could be the next Dylan, you know, in Violet's head probably. So it's like, yeah, she didn't have anybody. So since you relate to her in that way, do you feel like you ever had like a Dane like in your life, like somebody that kind of consistently tried to tell you like, this might be a little bit too much, like you're taking on too much?
No, actually, I think I just had the opposite. I think, no, I think like my mom was always like, yep, you got to do this, you got to do that, you can do this. Like she just kind of like naturally expected this from me, and was believed that I would do it. I think it was more in the workforce. And I'll go back to my age, because I feel like when we're 30 something now, but starting like in a brand new career in like early 20s, you are like green, I think is what the word is, right? You're green, and which is fair. Okay, you're learning and you're barely starting in a field. And I looked young, because it's so funny, because I worked with families, I did counseling, and I worked with teenagers and kids, and so I would walk into the room and they'd be like, are you another client? Like,
yeah, actually, like, my session's not up yet. Yeah. Like, you can go wait in the hallway,
right? Like, wait, aren't you still in high school? And so it's just always not being thought that, you know, you could do your job and stuff. So, but no, thankfully I've never had a Dane. Is that okay to say his name? I don't even know.
Dane. I'm pretty sure we would have like excluded them so fast. Like, you would have been like, you are cut out of our lives if you're gonna act like that.
And Dane, every time I'm like, why are you still talking? He was so pessimistic. Like, every chance he got, it's like she would reach the next level and he's like, you can't do that. Go back, go back, go back. And she would reach it again. And he's like, oh, no, now go back. Please, please, please stop. Change your mind.
You're gonna die. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
fly or die, and you will
He
die.
never, nothing she did convinced him that, he was so cringy. I can't,
yes.
I really didn't see, I was trying to find redeeming qualities for him, and it was just so hard. It was so hard.
I think that Dane was insufferable. Like, he was the worst from the beginning. And I think that that is one thing, like, one critique that I have is, like, Violet liked him so much and had been friends with him and, like, best friends with him. And knowing who Violet is, to me, it's like, I don't think she would have been friends with somebody like that on the outside either, you know, or like, I don't know. I feel like there was a disconnect of like how, and granted, I guess Rebecca Yarros does go into detail about like, oh, this isn't the Dane that I grew up with, or like this isn't. So maybe he was different, I guess, more on the outside. But to me, I felt like we were supposed to ship them at the beginning, and I never did. Like there was a disconnect there.
To me, I don't think we were ever supposed to. I think it makes
You don't
her
think
relation.
so?
No, because it's just there are no redeeming qualities for him. I really looked. I really tried. There was only one moment I made sure to make a note of it where I was like, oh, okay, I like him a little bit, but other than that, nothing else. So it was the moment where I don't even know exactly where they were, but she says something about how she says a comment to him that she was like, I was looking for the guy I used to climb trees with, or something like that. I mean, I can pull up the exact quote, but then she said there was like a softness in his eyes that she hadn't seen in him until like since he's been there. So it's like it's just kind of sad. I guess it's like that just made me think that maybe that's who he was, but now the environment he's in has changed him so much. He's so by the book, like everything. I don't know, because I think it strengthens the main romance storyline. I mean, it just totally makes me run into Xaden's arms way more, because he sees the potential. Like,
yes,
I don't know if we want to go there, but that's what I think. I think it's just such a contrast to Xaden. And
I will just say one last thing about Dane is that, like you're saying, you can't find any good qualities in him. I think like at the root of his doubt and like pessimism is like fear for her life, that she's going to die and she's in danger. So he tries to like protect her and like keep her safe, and like wants to lock her up like in this just safe space. Like that's like at the root of like what's going on for him. From what I'm understanding. So like that's endearing. It's like, oh, you love me so much, you care about me so much, you want to keep me safe. But it's not coming off that way. It's coming off as saying like, you can't do this, like you're not capable. When he should be saying like, I'm just deathly afraid that you're about to die and then I'm going to lose you. But that's not what's happening. So.
And the way, like in real life, I would be like, please take me to the scribe quadrant. Like in real life. And, like there were some points where I was reading it where I was like, girl, go. Like how does this and this, like knowing that you're probably gonna die, how is this what he's giving you right now?
So yeah, you would appreciate a Dane, a real life Dane.
I would appreciate like, in real life, I would never meet my zaddy Xaden, because I would be like, okay, like okay, Dane, like just take me, and thank you for keeping me alive. I mean,
right. So he's perfect for like the damsel in distress. He wants to be like that knight in shining armor and like, let me rescue you, let me take you to safety. But Violet's not.
He really wanted to be that guy for her. He did. But it's just so cringy.
It's cringy when you're reading it. In real life, I would be like, scoop me up in your arms and take me. Like, how fast can we get there? Say less. Say less. Take me.
Oh my God.
But yes, I think honestly it was overdone too. Yeah, because up until like the end of the chapter, he doesn't. Yeah, we read through chapter 20. So he doesn't even believe her, like that she's telling the truth about. We read this part, right? This isn't a spoiler.
Yes. Yeah.
So he doesn't even believe it. So he's still like not believing her and not believing in her. And so it's too, I think it's too much too.
After everything
like
she
every
has
milestone you clock it. Like, okay, Dane's about to come up and say something stupid. You can clock it every time.
It's like, man, I did something real good. Okay.
Where's Dane to ruin my
be here any
moment?
minute.
Yeah. And then like he tried to like, or he did kiss her, like that after she bonded with her dragons.
The dragon.
And I was like, boy, like the first time you have anything somewhat positive to say, and it's only once like the political aspect of it was okay. Like up until then, he was still like, you're gonna have to choose, you're gonna have to whatever, like yada yada yada. And then once like, okay, it's been like official, like you can now do this, and it's right in the eyes of the authority. And then he gets all excited, and then he's like, whatever. It's like, why can't you just be excited that the girl that you supposedly love, like the badass, just bonded with 2 dragons? Like, why are you not impressed?
Even in secret, like even if you don't, I don't know. He's just like, he's such a rule follower.
Yeah,
he can't let that part go. And honestly, I'm like, does he even feel sad that she rejected him? To me, I don't even think he like showed much heartbreak over the fact that she was like, I'm sorry, but no.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. And maybe because he's so focused on like his role and like following the rules and like
because he was the one that was like,
he was like,
at first she thought he was gonna say like he was into it, and then whenever he said no, she was so relieved, and then he was like, it's because I'm in this position, and that she like lost even more respect for him in that moment, because she was like, you can't even like be honest about like whatever, like it has to be all about like your image and your station and whatever. And it's like, yeah, like go like F off, Dane, like go away.
Everything about it was so cringy.
It was cringy for sure.
But I said, I am so sickened. She said the thrill is gone in less than a heartbeat. There's no heat, no energy. Actually, I'm sorry.
That was about the kiss, right?
That is. This is Dane is finally kissing me, and I said, I am so
I am so sickened.
Ew.
Ew.
I said it's disgusting. Absolutely did not like that. Yeah.
And I will say the kiss happened after he checked her mark, right? On her back. I think.
That adds an extra. It just was
like,
so
wait, like she wasn't, you had to confirm that she actually bonded and she actually achieved this, like to actually want her. I think, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, you're right, because it felt so like there has to be a reason why I was like, I'm so sickened. You know what I mean? It was just everything about it was like, this is just wrong. It's such a wrong time to.
But that's I mean, the author doesn't want us
to like it.
So she's gonna make it as uncomfortable as you possibly can. Like, yeah,
we're not fans of Dane. Well, Becca, maybe you are, because you'd be into it.
In real life, Dane would be my husband, probably. But in the book world, through Violet's eyes, I hate him. Yes, but through my own eyes, not so bad.
Guys, no, you're right. It's he's unlacing it to see the top of the thing. He's like, can I unlace your corset? And she's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he does, and then it's too much.
Like no heat, no passion, no nothing.
She's
disappointment. Like, no sharp slice of lust. Disappointment sours the moment.
That's so funny.
Speaking of the dragons, I think that Andarna is like my favorite in the entire book. I think that I love how they used her to show like who Violet was as a person. I love that she has some similarities to Violet, and that she's she's the underdog, she's small, she's little, and then she just does whatever she wants anyway, and she bonds even though she's not supposed to. And honestly, like, she reminds me of a puppy. Like, and if it has anything that reminds me of a dog, like, I'm gonna love it. And I just like, they talk about her little paws and just how cute she is. And I just like can't. And I've been looking at my dog, like my big Anatolian Shepherd that I have, and I'm like, I should have named you after this dragon. And like I have been loving on that dog so much because I'm like, you remind me of this dragon, like that I've been reading about. So I love the dragons. I love the difference between Tarn and the little golden baby. And I just think that it's just the author did such a good job with those dragons and the way that they're described and their characteristics and everything. So
if I were to choose an entire, I mean, if we're talking about this, our character who we like in the entire book, it's for sure Tarn.
Yeah.
I say Tarn in my head. Tarn.
I say Tarn as well. T-Dog. T-Dragon. He is amazing. I don't know. He is like, I don't know, every single thing he said from the moment she started hearing his voice, I was like, this guy, he says, you are the smartest of your year, the most cunning. And that's another, okay, there's another character that just like sees her strength for, you know, what it is, and she sees it as a weakness, you know. So just the way that he views her, first of all, and just like his quippy comments. Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm always like, stop. Like he cannot stop.
He's the best.
Yes, it's so cute. You can already tell like they're gonna have such a good relationship, dragon rider relationship, and it's gonna be so good.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I like the way that she mated her dragon and Xaden's dragon. And so they're all like connected. I'm like, yes. Like that is like, you know, it's like the one bed trope, you know, like whenever you're reading a book and they have they stumble into an inn and there's only one bed. Like, give me like forced mates. That is my kind of trope. Like, oh my gosh. When I read it the first time, I was like, yes. Like, yes.
So we're talking like enemies to lovers kind of thing.
Like enemies to lovers, but like forced proximity, but not actually proximity. You know what I mean? But like it's got to fall under that umbrella. Just like I'm forced to be around you. I'm forced to listen to you. I'm forced to talk to you, even though I hate you. And put a mate bond on there, and you just with some dragons that are mated, and you just, I mean, it's the best.
Yeah,
couldn't have done it any better. I love it.
Yeah,
and they've got this little puppy dragon, like this little baby that they've got to take care of. It just adds this whole element to it that I just love. Like she didn't have to put, and I know, and Darna will have like a, you know, I'm assuming she'll grow into a bigger, you know, whatever. She hasn't done too much yet, but I'm just like, it just adds like this little like family. I don't know. To it. No. She's just a little baby.
Yes, no, it's beautiful. But I think also just the fact that everybody is so powerful. I think it's so funny sometimes though, like in fantasy writing, or I guess any writing, it's like you read about this one character and they are the most attractive, the most powerful. And then you meet somebody else and it's like, oh, they're just even more powerful, even more stronger. It's like, okay, wait, I'm losing track of like who's the strongest here.
Yeah.
Because Tarn and Xaden's dragon, like they're both really, really strong. And I'm like, I lose track of like who's the strongest. They're all strong. And
they're
even
strong.
And Darna, like she, you know, she's a baby still, but she has like this powerful what is it? Powerful signet. Power. Yeah. Is it a signet? No, it's not a signet. It's is it a signet? No.
It's not
about the ability to stop time. Like that is huge and so powerful in its own respect.
Y'all, I mean, to me, there's something more with Andarna. And I don't know if we're gonna get that more, but I feel like there's something more. And that's as a reader who hasn't read the whole story.
Yeah. Well, I definitely feel like whenever they were describing like all meeting like that after she does stop the time and then they go and they meet, like have their little meeting or whatever with Xaden and all the dragons or whatever. And I think that like they mentioned specifically then that like she's a baby, right? Like she's a youngling and she will be and she will be full grown within the next couple years. And I feel like she wouldn't have put that tidbit in there if we didn't need to know it. And so I think that that's like important to know that she will have to control how much power she gives Violet, and that's going to be a struggle of like wanting to give her the power, not giving too much, not, you know, whatever. But she will, I think we will eventually see her full grown, and I feel like she's going to end up being like more powerful or even bigger than, you know, Taryn, you know, like just add her to the top of the list, you know?
Just keeps going.
Yes.
That's I honestly, I agree. And I remember there was a tidbit about Andarna's parents dying before the ceremony. And it's just kind of like he just like briefly mentions it. And I'm like, I just feel like, I don't know, maybe there's something there.
Yeah.
There's something there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm very intrigued by Andarna. Just from the moment you see her or hear her voice, she's like, and include my name too.
Yeah.
Oh, she's just
like,
so
don't
spunky.
forget about me. Oh, she's so cute.
What?
I love her so much. She's my favorite. I love her.
I love her, and I love Violet's like just reaction to it all too. She's just so shocked. Like, first of all, I have a really huge dragon that this Tarn that wasn't supposed to be here at all. He chose me, and then I also have this other dragon bonding with. Okay, whoa.
And like the most underdog of like all of the riders and cadets, like gets two of the one of like the most powerful dragon and one that's most likely gonna be super powerful in the future, maybe.
Yeah. I wanted to back up a little bit and ask you guys what y'all's thoughts are of like Violet's I guess the word like her vulgarness, or like her just like her, not vulgarness, that's the wrong word, but her like sarcastic tone and her sarcastic witty responses. Like I think that is probably my favorite part of Violet. Like I think that that's something that not every female main character gets and like does it and executes it as well as she does. So I think that her witty remarks and the way that she just responds to people, and like in situations that I would be personally like dying inside or, you know, like scared to death or whatever. And she just has this inner monologue going on that she sometimes voices out loud, or sometimes we just read. And I just think that is just an element of her that I just really like.
Yes.
I have I highlighted a little note from her. I think she just said, I'm so fucked. And I was like, oh, I'm sold. I love her.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yes. There was a point that, and I read it the first time and I got to it, and it was it's when she first speaks to Dane, and she kind of like one of the first things she says to him was something kind of like sexual innuendo or whatever. And I remember just thinking like, oh, like I'm going to like this character. She's got some like grit to her. Like she just walked across she made that impossible trek, right? And she's hurt her knee and she's seeing Dane for the first time. And she still has this like sense of humor to her. And I just really appreciated that as her character. And I remember the first read that I read that I got to that point, and I text Angela and I was like, got to read this book. This is going to be a good one. I text my sister. I was like, this is going to be good. I told my mom, told everybody. And then like, as soon as I read that one specific part, and then when I read the second time, I got that exact same like spark in my stomach when I read it. And I was like, oh yeah, like I remember this feeling from the first read that like, this is going to be good. And I just knew from that moment, and something about her personality and her dialogue in that specific scene, it was just like, okay, like I'm sold. Like I think that the author just did a fantastic job with that.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. And speaking to that I do remember that moment. I feel like that is another moment where I kind of was like, maybe Dane and Violet could happen. You know, she's still trying to make it happen, and she's putting the vibes out there. So I do think there was like a question, like maybe, but man, the doubting just made it impossible.
Yeah, he became impossible really fast.
Super fast. Like the second time he doubted her, I'm like, dude, she's there. Get over it. You need to support her and not try to make her fail before she even tries.
I'm like still stuck on the dang, like if you can cross that thing in a storm, who are you to doubt anybody at that point? Like, and not only that, but you got that Jack asshole behind you, like literally chasing you down the thing. Like, I mean, if she could survive that, like, how can you doubt that she could do anything? Really?
Yes. Can we talk about Jack?
I was gonna say, can we please
go for it? Go for it. Yes.
Like, why? Why was he so just like? Why was he so dead set on killing her? He just hated her so much.
Out of nowhere.
I was like, every second he got, he just was like just, I don't know, just against her, wanted her dead. Like, even Xaden was like, dude, chill out.
Chill the fuck out.
He's not part of the rebellion, like, children, right? That was the thing too, that I felt like the author missed an opportunity there. Because, like, that would tie why he hates her so much. But I agree. I think that there was a complete disconnect as to why this person is out for her. Like, yes, like, he was just throwing people off, the thing whenever he was going in. Like, clearly he has, mental issues. Like, I get that, but, like, I think if she had added the element of, like, wanting Violet dead because of Violet and who she is, like, in her family, to me that would make more sense. And I think it would also keep, like, I don't know, make Xaden have a little bit more of a tie to him, and a little bit, I don't know, I think it could have made the situation a little bit more complex, where instead of just like, he just wanted her dead because he didn't kill her when he tried the first time.
Yeah, he didn't get to kill her on the parapet, right? And then that was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do it eventually, I promise. Right. But I honestly thought he was part of the rebellion. I did. Now knowing that he's not, it's just like makes it even more funny. Like,
it's just like he just wanted her dead because he wanted her dead. Like, because he tried and he failed, and like his ego took too big of a hit that he didn't kill her. That he like, but I'm like, to have it that set out to want somebody dead, it just, to me, it was a little bit of a disconnect. I felt like the hatred there, like that character relationship between Jack and Violet, to me, was a little thin.
Yes,
in that regard.
Yeah.
And he actually, who he reminded me of as I was reading throughout the whole thing, because it's like his same, it's like that's his well, actually no, towards the end it kind of towards the end of the chapters we read, it changes, because now all of a sudden he loses like his stance and his power because he bonded to a lesser powerful dragon or something like that. But at the beginning, it's like constant state of aggression, constant state of like, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you. But it reminded me of the Toy Story character, that the little boy who just like is mayhem. Just like,
oh my god, Sid.
Everything.
Yeah.
Is that his name?
He's totally Sid.
Yeah, that's literally what I kept picturing. I'm like, this is just like a guy on a rampage, a killing rampage.
We all picture him as a redhead, right?
I didn't.
Is he described as a redhead? Because to me, like, he is so blatantly like a redhead with a buzz cut. Like, that is just
buzz cut. Yes,
redhead with a buzz cut. I think of him. I think that in the way I read him was like, he is the Draco Malfoy of this series. And that, like, I don't know, just like the enemy to be an enemy.
I feel like he'd be even worse. He's even worse than Draco Malfoy. Like, I don't know. It's just this kid, something happened to him. He has mental issues.
Something with him for sure.
Yeah. Which kind of brings me to, like, maybe, I don't know what's going to happen to this character, Jack, because, I mean, he's still in the picture and he still hasn't, I don't know. But I'm like, yeah, what happened to him? Like, why is he so angry all the time? I don't know if y'all have heard of the saying, like, hurt people. And so I'm like, what's happened to him? Who's hurt him in his life that he's out to get everybody?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not clear. It's like, the only thing I can think of is that he maybe saw her somewhat as a threat, because he couldn't kill her the first time, and then the more and more he couldn't kill her, the more, right? Like you were saying, he was getting more frustrated, just wanted to do it just to do it. But maybe he was like, well, I don't know, maybe she thought she was badass. I don't know.
Who knows?
Because I just don't know, why is he so angry?
Maybe we'll never find out. I don't know.
And we'll never know.
Hope he dies at some point soon.
I don't know what's gonna happen with him. All right. I think we need to talk about Zaddy Zayden.
Zaddy Zayden. Let's talk about some Zaddy Zayden, please.
I gotta.
What did y'all think of Mr. Zayden Riorson? That's how I say the
Oh my gosh.
First of all, the name. Like, you just know, like, the second you read the name, I was like, okay, he's gonna be the love interest. Like, there's just like not more obvious than Zayden with an X.
I just, oh my gosh, I can't get over like just how straight up cool he is. He's just so, he's always so calm and just like level-headed and so witty and just, oh my gosh, he makes me blush. I'm blushing right now.
And how like cutthroat he is and like intense. Like literally everything he does is so intense. Like I just imagine like a movie being made out of this series, and anytime you pan to him, there's like this intense music in the background, like dun dun dun. Like
for sure, yeah. And his jaw is like always clenched. Yeah. Like he's always like, you know, it's always like chiseled, like profile view of him. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, he's wonderful.
He's wonderful. Way. He's got a cute nickname for her, just like
Violence. Oh, so cute.
Violence. Everything about him. I'm so into it.
Yes. Okay, I do have a little critique though. Just
Tell
because
me.
Okay, so Zayden, like
because I will go to bat for Zayden. So
I know I was like, damn, she's ready to argue.
I want to know
right now. I'm just gonna sit back and let you.
Okay. So Zayden, all right. When we meet him, like on the parapet, he's like so intense, and like I got the impression that he's like dead set on killing Violet. Like there's no question in his mind, like he wants her dead, right? That's the impression. And then like the next time we see him is whenever he's meeting undercover, like with the other first years who are part of like the rebellion, right? And then I feel like he already like automatically like so quickly got to like the teasing part. Like he started to tease with her, started to kind of like play with her. Like he made some comments about like the daggers. Like I bet, what is it, Jack? I bet Jack wouldn't be wanting to murder you, like, if you threw some daggers at him. Like, I don't know. It's just very playful, very flirty. And I'm like, that is so quick. Like, it's so quick. Like, wait, weren't you just about to, like, kill her? And a little bit because of the history. Like, the history of, like, how Violet's family, her mom, supported the killing and the execution of Zayden's parents. I'm like, if I met someone, I'm like, you supported this movement that had me watch my parents become executed, and then I was forced to like join like this basically death quadrant, whatever, because essentially they want me dead. Like I don't know, like it just happened too fast, like a little bit too fast for me. Like the switch to being flirty and teasing her and not killing her. I don't know. Those are my thoughts.
I'm listening. So just one, this isn't even beginning to, comment on it. But one thing I had a question about what you said. You said that he was forced to see his parents be executed by her mom, right? Didn't her mom say that no children should have to see that? Or am I wrong? Like, did he actually see his parents get executed?
I thought it was like just public. Mad? I thought, what didn't they say? Like it was a public execution? Like they were forced to.
No, I think it definitely is a public execution. But her mom said something along the lines, and I was like, okay, still seems pretty extreme to me. That is a minor detail, but
I could be totally wrong. But the way I'm remembering it is that I think that her mom was the general or whatever in charge, but she's not the one who was actually the one that actually killed them. Like she's the one who like gave the okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. Right. Like the mom didn't like physically execute.
Oh, okay.
Her, but she was like it was under her orders. it was what they did as punishment for being rebelling.
Yes. Let me see.
I think this is like, I think it's kind of important to know, you know, because I mean, I could see what you're saying. I think for me, a turning point for him was just seeing her cross. I don't think he ever thought she was going to cross the parapet. And especially with Jack, like, being right after her and like intent to kill her right there on the parapet. I don't think he thought she was going to make it. But when she did, he was like, damn.
A little impressed with her.
I think he was like already impressed. And he was like, you know, maybe I do hate you, but I don't know you. But like, damn, that was impressive. You know, he sees, you know, he gives credit where credit is owed, which is what makes him so different from Dane. It's like, dude, you knew her your whole life and you can't even be impressed by what she just did.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, and then it goes straight into the teasing. I liked that because I don't know. I didn't think it was too fast.
I did.
You thought it was too fast? I didn't think it was like even that much teasing to begin with, like, if that makes sense. Like, I think he was like still unsure about her at that point.
Yeah. But I'm thinking there's a reason why she's under the impression he wants to kill her, and he always kind of knew he was going to keep her safe.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
And that's why, like, it feels fast for us, but as we read, it will make more sense as to why it was as fast as it was.
What I think
that makes sense
at this point, from what I've read, and then like just basically the bond of the dragons and things like that, that's kind of, I don't know if it's explicit. It's definitely not explicitly stated, but I'm thinking, like, I don't know if this is where you're going with this, but his dragon, I feel like his dragon definitely maybe had some conversations with him. I don't know if she was able to see Violet at all, but she knows his thoughts. Like,
yeah, I think it will make more sense as we go.
I found the quote. Did you find it?
No.
Okay. So it's the beginning of chapter 5, and it says, knowing I am in direct disagreement with General Melgren's orders, I'm officially objecting to the plan set forth in today's briefing. It is not this general's opinion that the children of the rebellion's leaders should be forced to witness their parents' executions. No child should watch their parent put to death. But this isn't his mom. This isn't her mom. It says the Tirish Rebellion, an official brief for King Tari. Oh, by General Lilith Sorengale. So that's the mom. So, I mean, she still made the order, right? And that's just like one minute detail that you said, Angela. It's like, it still doesn't forgive the fact that it's fast. That he teased her.
I think that's my only critique. I was like, it feels just a tad bit fast. Like there wasn't any other sort of.
I agree.
Thing.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like in I guess like thinking about it in real life, it's like, hey, like you support this movement, that this movement directly hurt me like so deeply. Like I watched my parents get executed, and like I guess like in his mind, like you're the daughter, like your mom made that order, so like you must support it. And like they don't have a conversation about that, like, hey, do you actually support this or not? And so it's like that's the impression, like you're her daughter, so you must be on that side. And she is, right? She's on, because she is on that side and she supports that side, right?
Yeah.
And
it's hard to say.
Well, I know it's like there's more to the story, but like the other piece is like then from Violet's standpoint, it's like your father had my brother killed, right? That's the other piece of it too. It's like, okay, so they both hurt each other. It just happened so fast. Like I love it. I love them as a couple in chemistry, but it just happened a little bit too fast for me. That's all I'm saying.
I was going to bring that up. I was going to bring up the fact that they said, well, yeah, my brother, you know, well, hey, your parents, my brother kind of thing. And I think that was the main, like, this is our level playing field. And then after that, it was like, okay, so we're supposed to just kind of move on.
Okay, so I love you.
Right?
Yeah. Don't worry, it's okay. I'm into you. So it doesn't matter.
I don't know. I agree that it was a little jarring. Like I feel like they went from enemies to friends fast. And I think that, they did it under the impression that like, okay, well now we're mated and now, or like our dragons are mated. And if you die, I die. So like we have to now have this friendship or this whatever. And, but I feel like it was like, she fell for him so fast, like her inner dialogue of like how attracted she is to him and this and that, whatever, like from the get-go. I mean, she like, her distaste for him was like non-existent. Whereas like for him, I think like, he made it more apparent at least that he didn't like her and stuff. And so I don't know. I feel like it just went from enemies to a distaste to, okay, like I'm attracted to you like so fast that I was like, is this enemies to lovers? Is this, so.
Yes. But the chemistry that develops is beautiful and awesome, and I love it. And it's like even the sexual tension is there, like from the wrestling on the mat or the sparring on the mat.
God. That whole scene.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, that's part of the teasing. That's part of the poking and the prodding. He just liked to poke and prod her. He did. I feel like he's kind of like Jack, but he did it in a different way. Like not outright just gonna kill her. And he kind of said that many times. She was like, so are you gonna kill me? And he's like, maybe I want to kill you in a different way. Maybe
like,
keeping you alive. Yeah. Maybe keeping you alive is a lot more fun. And you not knowing when I'm gonna kill you. I don't know. I really genuinely believed him when he said that. And because I just don't think he knew what to feel about her. Because I think her saying, hey, yeah, your parents, but my brother, a life for lives or whatever. Like I'm missing someone too. I think that made him be like, oh, I think he did kind of rethink some things. Yeah. Maybe not immediately like be like, oh, okay, well, then I love you because you're attractive or whatever. But I think it made him just kind of be like, and she made me really question what I believe for a second.
And also the other big thing that happens is like she catches them doing something really illegal of like meeting in a group bigger than 3, and she breaks the rules and doesn't share that secret. And so I'm sure he's impressed. I'm sure he's like, whoa, so maybe she is like on a different side. Maybe she's different from her mom or from whatever.
But I feel like if he genuinely hated her as much as we were led to believe he hated her, he would have killed her.
Yes. I agree.
Like, that, like, I feel like that scene happened too soon. Like, I feel like there should have, this goes to show how like desensitized I am by dying in this book, because I'm like, I feel like he should have at least attempted to kill her once.
Or hurt her in some way. Or
yeah, but he was so soft towards her when we were supposed to believe that he was supposed to also want to kill her that it didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So that's my only critique.
Yeah.
So now
that's a good critique, I think.
Right. It was just happening a little bit too fast. I'm not mad at it. Well, maybe a little like mad at it, but like
maybe there could have been some more.
Yeah.
He should have tried to kill her at least once.
Or hurt her. Just hurt her or something.
And I think the like sparring on the mat was supposed to show that like he's not afraid to hurt her, but
I feel like it just showed
wasn't enough to me.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I know another thing that we're gonna talk about is like our favorite quote, and my quote is gonna be from that sparring. And there's like so many good quotes. I was like, oh my gosh, which one do I choose? Like, what do I want to talk about? But I don't know, this one stood out to me. So it's on page 146. I'm on my Kindle. I don't know if that's different from like the physical book, but at the bottom of page 146, it says, instead of going for my arms, he twists, grabbing a hold of the backs of my thighs. So I lose my leverage and our bodies careen into a roll. He comes out on top. Of course he does. His forearm.
We have the exact same part. It's different. It's page 109 for those who are in their physical books. Yes.
So then his forearm rests against my throat, not cutting off air, but definitely capable of it. And his hips have mine pinned. My legs useless on either side of his as he lies heavily between my thighs. He's unmovable. Everything around us fades as my world narrows to the arrogant glint in his gaze. He's all I can see, all I can feel. And I can't let him win. So I was like, okay, that's it for me. That's beautiful. Like, and I can't let him win. So it's like this fire in her, even though there's like this sexual tension going on. He's on top of her. What is
I would have
basically
started making out with him, like, and he would have been like, okay, like, chill out. But I would have just like, okay, clearly you're sending me signals. So
right? It's because aren't they describing basically like it being in missionary?
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yes.
I'm like, okay. But I love the last little line. I'm like, and I can let him win. So like she's not getting into that sexual tension and she's still like so determined to like,
yeah. I literally like marked the exact same page as you as one of my favorite quotes, except I did, you are not attracted to toxic men. That was my quote. That was like, how many girls can relate to like, this is like, you're seeing a man in front of you that has all the red flags and yet you're still like so attracted and you're like, what is wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you in your head? And that's like exactly what she's saying, like in her mind is like, you are not attracted to this. Like, you cannot possibly be attracted to this, but she is, and we all understand it.
Yeah, no, it was great. Like, especially when he was just removing the daggers one by one. Like, I was like, oh my god, it's just like,
it's like if he was,
oh my god, you basically got your clothes off. Come on.
Yes,
I mean, because that was like her
vulnerability.
Yeah, her strength was her daggers, and he was like, look, how easily I can take this
like
away from
plucking
you.
Them, like, you know,
just
like,
with such grace.
Yes. So he's so powerful, and he's so. I know we haven't seen like any. Obviously, their chemistry is just starting, or actually, maybe it hasn't even started. I don't know, but I'm like, okay, so he's powerful in bed. Maybe he's like,
yeah, I would say
takes
so.
Charge in the bedroom.
Yeah, I would say so.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
oh yeah, I love it. I love how she describes like she can smell him, like the scent of mint, and she like knows he's there. I'm like, oh, he's coming. He's gonna be here soon. She's like, the scent of mint somehow steadies my heartbeat. And I wrote pitter patter. Doesn't steady mine. He's here. What tomfoolery are you gonna get into?
There was another Xaden moment that I marked as like, it's not really a quote, but just like a situation whenever she is about to die in the is it the threshing, where they choose the dragons or the dragons choose them. So when she's like, you know, she thinks that she's a goner, like whatever, and then Xaden shows up with his dragon. That was the point where like I was like kicking my feet. Like I was so excited that he just like showed up in that moment. And I was like, I'm about to like throw my book across the room. Like I am so just like I was like sitting on the couch reading, and like Renee, my husband, like was, you know, on the couch, like the love seat next to me. And I was like, like squealed, and he was like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, I forgot this happened. I mean, it was so good even the second time reading it. And that was just like a passage that I was like, oh, that was executed perfectly.
I'm trying to find the quote that he says, and okay, this is the part I can't find it. I really want to find it. It's where he says sometimes he's like, just because it's not the right way to do it doesn't mean it's the only way to do it. Yeah, or something like that.
Before the gauntlet.
Yes,
like before she gets the dragons or whatever. And then she says it like they're all arguing. And she says it and she looks at him and he kind of smirks. I was like, oh my God. She quoted him back to him. And he's like,
stroke that ego.
Yeah.
Stroke that ego. He's going to love that.
Yeah. And then he was like, she's got a point.
What is the quote? He's like, the right way isn't the only way, or something like that.
Yeah.
I got to find it. I thought I had bookmarked it. I know I did, because I was like, that was one of the moments when, because she had so much adrenaline. She just got the dragons, and they were like, well, you're not going to get it. And Amber was so pissed that she had 2 dragons and she cheated. No, or was that the knife that was getting up the
dagger?
It was the dagger. And I think Amber was still even pissed that she had 2 dragons. I don't
know. Amber is like Dane, and they
that's why they were
a thing.
A thing.
They were a thing.
The right way isn't the only way.
There it is.
He said, the right way isn't the only way. Figure it out. Then he turns and walks away. She says, fuck him.
Yes, see? Is this
like her like cadence, like with her inner dialogue is so good. Like her, her voice. Like isn't that what they say? Like when you're learning to write, like you have to find your voice. Like this author's voice is so good.
There it is again. The right way isn't the only way. I use his own words against him. His own words against him. Xaden holds my gaze. She has you, Amber. So he's looking at her and talking to Amber. He's like, I love it. She's got you. Oh, mama. On a technicality, still has you. She still got you.
There's so many good Xaden quotes.
But the last scene, right before the cutoff, do you think we can talk about that just like briefly? Basically, Amber dying, getting roasted.
Yeah, go for it. What are your thoughts?
So if that's the end, right? That's where we're ending for now, right? I was like, wow, this is the first moment that she's really having to evaluate and think about her actions before she just acts. Because now she has these protectors, all these people that, will do anything for her at this point. And the weight of it, I think that was the first time like it really hit her. And I think, it just leads it, the doors open for a lot to come. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it kind of gets to the point of like, she, because of her, kind of Amber dies. And you can see her kind of trying to backtrack of like, wait, maybe I can just talk to Amber. Like, wait, I feel so bad for her dragon. But I wonder if that's going to play, like if she's going to carry any sort of like guilt or any sort of like, I don't know if that's going to haunt her in a sense, because maybe she's going to feel responsible for it.
Yeah, it was crushing. That moment was pretty crushing. Like, I did want her to die. I thought she should, but I didn't really think that I would care at all. But the dragon trying to protect her dragon trying to protect her and like let out a wail, like, oh my gosh. I was like, yikes. That bond is there. Yeah. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
So chemistry going good so far? Sizzle temp for the couple?
I think chemistry is chemistry. I mean, it's brewing right now. Like we don't have any spice yet, of course. Like we're not there, but I already know, like with him now being tied to her and, she almost got killed at night, we're going to have like, we're going to share a bed, we're going to share a room moments. I just know it. Like it's just leading up to that. So the spice is coming.
Yes, the tension, the sexual tension is there.
Yeah, I think it's definitely building. And to me, it feels like a slow burn, even though like it's all happening kind of fast. I still feel it's like slow. There's every interaction they have, they just keep, learning who each other is and testing each other's boundaries. And I don't know. I'm excited.
Yeah. I mean, we're halfway through the book. We don't have any spice. So I would say it's a slow burn for sure.
Right. I mean, have they kissed at this point? No.
I mean, even like he has shown that he's interested in her just from hints from the author, but he hasn't verbally or any like giving her any indication that he's interested in her.
Okay. I thought that it was a slow burn for a reason. And I'd like it. I like it because it's not just like in your face, because there's so much story. The story is just so good as it is. I feel like, we got to build up to that point.
Yeah. And I like that the author is like continuously putting things in there, like when she's like, oh, like I miss sex, or oh, I miss, it's like, okay, this is like,
okay,
it is a slow, yeah,
man, like we're like, this is about to happen. Like she's just putting it out there for everybody to hear.
Yes. Yeah.
She's ready to get some, like she hasn't got hers, so she's
but
ready.
I mean, I like that they like she used some of like the side characters to like show that people were hooking up, and Xaden saying like, well, I don't hook up with first years, and Mira, even at the beginning, saying something about like, you know, like get yours whenever you can get yours kind of thing. And it's like, I like that the author like is showing, you know, that like we're gonna get there. Like this is not a completely like dry book, you know, but like it's just not there yet. And so yeah, I think it's gonna come, and I think whenever it does, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, it certainly shocked me though, just because it has been such a slow burn that she just is like, this is all cool and all, but I miss sex. Wish I could be having it right now. It's like, what? Okay, girl.
Well, she sees all of her friends, you know,
Make it
going
happen.
about their business. So, which brings us to a little game that we want to play on every episode. A little temp check on all the characters. Anybody in the book is up for fair game, but Cassandra, if you could fuck, marry, or kill, any of the characters, who would it be?
Okay, I'm gonna have to remember because I know for sure, obviously, I would definitely take Xaden to bed. Oh, in a heartbeat. I mean, we would have the best time. Right? So that's my F, my Mary. Okay. I don't know. Did I say this person? I don't know. I just feel like, okay, my Mary is Tern, just because I just think he's got such like a, I don't know, a protective nature to him. And it's almost like a father type figure. I don't know if that's weird that I would marry him. But
like, where are you going with this?
I know, like the dragon. Are we talking about the dragon? Right?
You're gonna marry the dragon?
I just love him so much. I just love his personality.
That's fair. I think that's like, fair.
So entertaining. Like he just always like he's just as sarcastic as Violet is. Yeah. I feel like he's like the older male version of Violet. Kind of.
Do you want to marry Violet?
No, I want to marry Taryn. I like Taryn.
Okay, you're like, you are standing on business with this one.
Yeah.
Okay, I like
we didn't say anything about having to like, you know, fornicate with the like having to consummate the marriage. I just want to marry this guy. He's so,
you want him in your life for forever.
Yes,
that's fair.
Kill.
Who are you gonna kill?
I think it was her mom. I think I want to kill her mom. Okay. She pisses me off so much. She's just
really gets under Cassandra's skin.
Why do you hate her so much?
To me, she's another one kind of like Dane, where I was like, I just can't see any redeeming qualities for her just yet. She's so freaking mean to Violet. She said, you know, what's her name? Violet was talking about her dad. She's like, well, yeah, but dad was a scribe. And she's like, yeah, but your father's dead. So yeah. I was like, excuse me, man. I don't get her angle right now. And she just bugs me. I feel like, you know, the more I read, the more I'm going to find out about like her motives and stuff. But she's just so outright, just, I don't know. It feels like, do you even love your daughter? Doesn't seem like it.
I think Violet questions that too.
Yeah.
I think the fact that the mom just ignores Violet, like doesn't even address her, doesn't even look at her, just like pretend like she's not there. I think that's the only thing that gets me about the mom. But yes, very curious about her motives and stuff.
Yeah, she just bugs me.
Much that she would kill her.
For real, I would kill her for you, Violet. If you want your mom dead, just let me know. I loved your father, but he's dead, she says, as if giving the weather report.
Yeah.
Like, what made her so cold? What made her so cold?
I think that's the general in her, you know. She needs to play that part, the general.
And so that's what's interesting about the fact that you brought that. Like, I wonder if maybe, you know, the author Rebecca, if she had moments like that with her parents, you know, because that's a different perspective that I've never had. So to me, I guess it's just so like not relatable. I just don't understand it, but you're right. It has to have some, I mean, obviously the military aspect has to have something to do with it. So it's just like, well,
yes,
she made her very, very harsh. So good job, Rebecca.
Yes. All right, Becca, you want to go?
I would fuck Riddock for sure. He seems like a fun time. I mean, he seems like he would be a good one just to like have some fun with and then not have a relationship with. Like that's who I would marry Zayden because I want to do that for the rest of my life. Like, of course. And then I would kill Jack.
Yeah, Jack should be dead. Yeah, I'm surprised he's not dead already.
The easiest like decision. Like I would kill him immediately.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree. I was gonna say Riddick for fuck, so I echo your sentiments.
You know, I totally forgot about him. Can I change my? I'm just
no.
I'm joking. I'm joking, but I do love him. I do love his character. I think it was the threshing or something. Where like there was another girl that died. It was when Arlie died or something, and Violet was really shocked. That really shook her because she was like, I gotta be the one to like take care of her belongings, whatever. I gotta go get them or something. And then at that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, who else is gonna die? I don't want Rydok to die or Rhiannon to die. Like, please don't let them die. If they die, I will be upset. So thankfully they didn't, but I remember having that moment. I do love him.
Yeah.
Yes, that's who I was thinking about saying fuck to, but I'm gonna stay true to Zayden, and he's gonna be my F. I'm keeping him. I see the sexual tension. It's building. It's there.
Oh yeah.
That whole quote of like the sparring session. You know it's gonna be good if there's sexual tension there. So. Yes, I definitely fuck him. So marry, I'd be surprised, but I've been thinking about this. So I would marry Dane. I would marry Dane because he's a rule follower. He's responsible. He's a leader.
This is a twist if I've ever heard one.
He's a leader. He's gonna keep you safe. He's gonna protect you. He's gonna take care of you. He's gonna have you.
Do you see the draw now? Like, do you see why I said that at the beginning?
Yeah.
Like, in real life, I would be married to Dane.
Yeah, it would be a pretty sweet deal. You'd be up in your mansion, just a little trophy wife, just be taken care of.
Not having to worry about dying.
Exactly.
What more do you want?
Exactly.
I would protect her.
Protect her. So I would marry Dane.
See, that's the energy I get from Taryn without all of the judgment.
She's gonna go back and continue to defend her answer.
You defend my answer. I don't have to defend it. I am proud of my answer. I love Taryn. I could spend years with that guy. He's so funny.
He's
literally.
He's cool. He's cool. I like him.
Oh,
who would you kill?
All right, and I would kill.
Who do you want?
I would kill Dane.
Okay.
You cannot marry and kill the same.
You're
not playing the game.
No, yes, I can. Wait, you have to listen. So I would marry Dane and be married for him until we are established, until he's taking care of me, until he's provided for me, until he's, I got it good. And I have my Zaddy Zayden over here as a side piece, okay? So I got the passion here too, right? So then Dane, he's going to have some pretty good life insurance. And so I kill him, and there you go.
He is the type that would have life insurance.
This is why you're the logical book carrier.
This is exactly why you're the logical book carrier. 100%.
Because I just can't get past it. I can't.
So then he's out of the picture, and I can just stay with Zayden, and I don't have to be married to him. So there you go. That's my answer.
I was actually gonna say I'm surprised nobody would kill Dane, because I'm almost surprised I wouldn't kill Dane either, because he does annoy me to my core. So, but I think that's a good answer, and I think we have to reevaluate our rules to the game. And of course, Angela would do that. Would be the one to make us think about our rules to our game.
Hey, no rules, just who would you fuck, marry, kill? Okay, let's.
What was the question? Can there be duplicates?
Y'all are not playing the game correctly.
Who's not?
This is not the point of the game.
Who's not? Because I think I did. I think I played it correctly.
Can you marry Taryn? Can you actually marry? I mean, what? All right, y'all.
We were reading fantasy. I'm not optimistic, hopeless romantic, okay? So I think we could make it work.
I think so too. I'm rooting for y'all. I'll be there. All right, which I think brings us to our final question of the day.
Oh.
So far, would you carry this book? Would you keep it in your bag, or would you throw it away? So in a sense, how are you feeling? What's this book like for you? Are you loving it? Are you, it's okay? Or would you not read it, throw it away? What are y'all's thoughts so far?
I would carry it. I would carry it proudly. I would be so excited for somebody to see me reading it and want to talk to me about it.
Would carry it. And I feel like, I feel almost like I'm carrying it like, in honor, or I guess what's the word? Honorary? I don't know. Imaginary? I don't know. What I'm trying to say is I've been telling people I'm reading the book, and people have read it, and their reactions are, oh, it's just so good. Just so good. So I feel like I am, in a way, carrying the book.
You're carrying and caressing it at the same time.
Absolutely. I'm carrying it and loving it. Caring for it.
Yeah, so I think it's needless to say I would carry it as well. This is solid. Good job, Rebecca. So, yeah. So we'll see what happens. So
we'll see.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of The Book Carriers.
We hope you enjoyed diving into the Fourth Wing with us as much as we did.
Thank you so much for joining us on this literary adventure. Your support means the world to us.
If you loved today's episode, don't forget to follow us on social media for updates, behind-the-scene fun, and more bookish content. You can find us on The Book Carriers on TikTok, The Book Carriers on Instagram. If you would like to speak directly to us, you can email us at hello@thebookcarrierspodcast.com.
And if you're feeling generous, please rate our podcast 5 stars. Your reviews help other book carriers find us and join our growing community.
Remember, we'll be back with a new episode every 2 weeks, diving into another captivating book.
Until next time, keep reading and living those amazing stories.
Bye for now.
Happy reading.
I've been called to the pages, and it doesn't take